All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of the Unknown Comics Podcast. That's Chris. I'm Brandon, and we're here to talk nerd stuff. But first, if you are watching us on YouTube or listening to us wherever you listen to podcasts, we do this podcast live on Thursdays. Not every Thursday. We've been really bad lately, and we're not going to be doing one next Thursday because it's American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Turkey Day.
But Thursdays on Whatnot, you can catch us live and join in our discussions as we do it. But if you can't catch us live, like I said, you can definitely catch us wherever you download podcasts. And of course, the video version is on YouTube, and you can leave comments and still join in the discussion even after the fact there. So thank you, Whatnot, for helping make this podcast possible. So all right, so yeah, we got a Marvel movie this last week.
We did. And that's what we got a pull up for right now too.
Yep. So Chris and I, we both saw Black Panther Wakanda, and we're not going to get into any spoilers. Not that there's anything just like devastatingly spoilery in it.
Yeah, I think this is one movie you could probably pretty openly talk about and it not ruin anything.
Yeah, it would probably help to watch, to have, like us, you could probably watch it on an island. It would help if you watched probably Black Panther 1.
Yeah, I would think that would be probably the one movie you need.
I don't know that you would have needed.
Sorry, the table's creaky.
I don't know that you would have needed to see like Civil War, but it does frame it up. But I think between 1 and Wakanda Forever, it tells a pretty cohesive story.
Yeah.
We won't get into exactly how, but I didn't quite expect the way they wrote T'Challa's character off.
Yeah.
But it made sense. Like I think it definitely
so quick in the movie too. Like,
yeah.
That wasn't it.
I mean, it you don't see. Of course, you don't see how, because I mean he wasn't there to act it.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with the feels right from the get go,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah.
I teared up, and part of that is, if you didn't know he was in fact actually passed, maybe it wouldn't hit as hard. But knowing that, and knowing that a lot of the emotions that the actors were feeling are real, because they lost
have to act.
their friend and colleague, and it hits and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. Swaynader, we're not going to spoil any plot stuff, so you're good. We're kind of making just general comments on how we feel about the movie. CG was good.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with that.
They've had some CG gaffes recently.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I didn't notice. I'm like, there wasn't anything that I noticed.
Yeah, nothing was like, oh my gosh, that was terrible.
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe with Namor and stuff that we'd probably get some of that, but no, it was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good movie.
It was 2 hours and 40 something minutes.
It was long.
That was a long. I will say at times you did feel the length of the movie, but they had a lot of stuff to get out.
Yeah.
But it still flowed well. And that's the most important thing on a long movie.
And I think, of course, this movie being the tail end of Phase 4, this is the last Phase 4 movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this and it totally makes sense. Phase 4 is the kind of the core theme of Phase 4 was grief and loss.
Okay.
Like,
I thought you were going to say replacing all the Avengers with a female counterpart.
No, it was grief and loss. So you're feeling it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. It started with Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Far From Home? No Way Home.
Yeah.
No, it started in Far From Home.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because technically Spider-Man's had 2 Phase 4 films. That's weird to think.
And also apparently signed a new contract recently.
Yeah. And there's been some Spider-Man potential cancellations, but we'll get to that. Bookmark.
Sorry.
Sony. But so with Spider-Man, Far From Home, kind of exploring the loss of Tony. Then you had WandaVision, which was the loss of a Vision, and
then the loss of the kids that were made.
Yeah. And then it went on to where am I going? Blah, 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 blah,
Next, you get Falcon Winter Soldier, which is kind of more redemptive.
But it was like I said, it was without the void of Captain America. Thor: Love and Thunder hit on Jane's passing. Like all these characters are having to deal with loss and grief, and it's this common thread throughout them. And for this one to be like the end of it, and to have that real connection to grief and loss, I think. I complained that Phase 4 really didn't move like the overarching story very far.
No, most of it was just about really kind of stretching the book out further.
Yeah, it's almost
like a centerfold.
Like a lot of the movies were just epilogues
Yeah.
to the Infinity Saga, right?
Yeah.
And it is going to be that connective tissue to the multiverse saga. With Doctor Strange and Loki and all that. But and the third Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was good. It kicked me right in the feels. Some good breakout characters. I enjoyed Ironheart and Riri a lot more than I thought, because I don't really read anything she's in.
Yeah, I can't actually think of anything I've ever read.
So I don't really know the character very well.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm not crazy with some kind of ways that they moved Okoye.
Just as far as her character development?
Yeah, as far as her character and where where that ended.
And I think that's because they're also planning, they had announced at one point that they were doing a show with that particular group of women.
Yeah.
And so they probably have to get it to a point where she's going to be that. So
yeah.
I also think that with Riri, I like the fact that they're leaving everything up to her TV show to figure out her character.
Yeah.
Like she's in the movie.
Yeah.
But her TV show is going to get to develop the character the way they
which
want,
I mean
which is good.
That's what they did with T'Challa in Civil War, right?
Yeah, same thing.
You had him there, and then they developed him in Black Panther, which is kind of the opposite of what they did with Ms. Marvel, right?
Yeah.
They're it's nice that they have that kind of that arrow in their quiver to explore characters like that.
Another thing we can come back and bookmark is how DC is planning on doing some stuff similar now.
Okay.
So.
Black Adam or Black Panther? So I haven't seen Black Adam, so I will leave it to Chris.
Black Panther, I think, was the better movie. Black Adam, if you just want to watch stuff get destroyed, that's what you go watch. Both great. I liked them both. Black Panther was definitely more of a story, grounded, really, bringing the in-depth emotion stuff to it. Black Adam has a little bit of the emotion stuff, just kind of with his story, but definitely more about the action. So
yeah. And Black Panther had really good action. But that wasn't its focus.
No.
I definitely thought there was going to be a lot more to it, the way trailers kind of framed it up. But it like I said, it was a lot more character driven than I think it was action driven. I really liked Namor and portraying him Namor is an old character.
Yeah.
And so he's gone through a lot of kind of iterations, but kind of the typical kind of thing they land on is he's just a pretentious a-hole.
He'll do, and same thing he did here, right? He's not really a bad guy, but he'll do whatever it takes to protect Atlantis in the comics.
Loken
here. But, it's the changes that they made to the character for the MCU made sense.
Yeah.
Name changes, verbal changes, I can completely understand. I had no issues.
No,
I think
things. They had to get away from Aquaman as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were distancing him from Aquaman, and then just adding. Honestly, I think comic Atlantis would have been boring.
Yeah.
I think adding the Mesoamerican kind of tilt to them.
I will say that was one of my I don't know if I want to say it's a complaint, but the underwater scenes were a little like, you saw the Atlanteans underwater and it was like everybody's just like, it's like they're on land but in water.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that way.
Kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, it didn't feel that way here.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of one of my one things is like I don't know if they were going to plan on trying to dive into that more.
So you're saying Black Panther Talokan was more realistic as far as they don't look like. I mean, because there was a verticality to it.
There was, but at the same time, like nobody's talking except for like the couple of scenes. But even that felt weird.
They just sonar each other like dolphins.
Well, there was none of that happening.
Yeah. Well, but the music was up and stuff like that, so it could just be implied that there was just no dialogue.
And again, it might be another thing of kind of like what they did with Aquaman, where they were like, we're going to kind of leave that to a future project and let them kind of figure out how they're going to do all that underwater.
No, there's talking in
a little bit, a little bit,
like it.
But
when he's on the throne. Yeah. So, but
my son, every time they made the little symbol, he said all I could think about was Street Fighter.
Hadouken. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the Atlantic. No. So apparently this actually does have Mayan roots.
Yeah.
Like this is an actual cultural type thing in Mayan society. So, or Mayan, Aztec, Mesoamerican societies. No, it was good. But like I said, it made Namor relatable. Mm-hmm.
It pretty much made him out to be exactly what T'Challa's dad was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the same stance. They would have been on the same page.
Well, and the whole thing was it's paralleling, like Talokan and Wakanda are the exact same nation, just in different parts of the world, right? Yep. And how similar they are, but how they've kind of gone about things, differently. And no, it was a good contrast, and knowing what I know of Wakanda and Atlantis in the comics, I think it was definitely a better way to take that conflict.
Yeah, for sure.
Than just, Namor being Namor.
Yeah.
So, and like they actually gave, like, so Namor's name, they actually put a Mesoamerican spin on it and actually like validated it.
Yeah, they made it make sense, which was pretty cool.
And they might have been stretching for it a little bit, but they actually did.
It's very creative though.
Yeah,
very creative. Yeah.
So I like it. If you enjoyed Black Panther, I definitely recommend getting it or going to see it. I'd be curious to what Darren thinks about it, because he did not like the first Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see what his thoughts are.
From what he's told me, he enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
He thought it was great storytelling. He was.
Did he like the second Doctor Strange movie? Because I know he didn't like first Doctor Strange.
I think he did like the second one better.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. We haven't talked about that one in a while.
I like both of the first movies, so I'm easygoing though. I'm not super critical about stuff.
I like to go into these bad boys with no expectations. So.
Yeah. All right. Wakanda 1. Forever.
All right. So what was our first bookmark?
The first bookmark was, doubling back to Spider-Man, there are strong rumors that Spider-Man freshman year is getting the axe on Disney Plus.
Is that just a Sony deal?
I don't know if it was a Sony deal.
Because I know that it was still agreed upon between them doing that.
Yeah. No, I think it just kind of lost steam, and that's not something that they're wanting to pursue. So
either axe or far in the back burner.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much supposed to be kind of an animated origin story.
Right.
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 Yeah.
It was going to be a different reality, but it would make sense in the multiverse type scheme of things.
Maybe they don't want to, since they're going forward with so much with the Miles Morales side of, maybe they don't want to kind of play with other versions of that right now.
Yeah, possibly. So I'm not sad about it, because I keep forgetting that it even existed.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like X-Men 97 right now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything on that.
Yeah, we know what's happening, but we don't know when.
No dates or anything other than, they brought back a bunch of the original actors that are still kicking.
Yeah, I was about to say the ones that are still with us.
Even though half of the X-Men original X-Men voice cast is dead. Segue.
Sad segue.
Sad segue. We did lose Kevin Conroy this past week. Very, very sad. And honestly, because this is Friday that we learned, this last Friday, and you hollered out to me that he had passed away, and I was like, yeah, because if you saw him in recent interviews, he looked sick, like he was.
I don't know if they've come out with a cause of death yet or anything like that.
I think I've heard cancer, which that would totally fit, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super sad. Because I've said this before, that's my Batman. Animated series Batman was always the one. Like, I didn't read Batman. I watched most of the movies.
I mean, you watched the Batman cartoons, and then you went to Walmart or whatever, and every suit that he had on was there in an action figure. You know what I mean? So, I mean, every suit you could think of was an action figure.
Yeah, deep dive scuba Batman.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the entire action figure series section at Walmart was just Batman suits.
Yeah,
you know,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and TMNT. I mean, that was it. You know, so
yeah.
I mean, it was definitely childhood. You know, it's got the feels in it. So.
So I have heard, either intestinal or colon cancer, or I've also heard pancreatic, but yeah, intestinal makes a lot of sense. I don't know how many times I've ever said intestinal on the podcast before, but here we go.
You're probably hitting the peak of its use.
Colon, duodenum. And all the synonyms for your lower. But
everybody's going to get like YouTube ads after this if they watch it
yeah.
on YouTube. They can be
all
like,
of a sudden their phones
your phone's listening.
Have you done your Cologuard test yet?
Yeah.
Have you pooped in a box and mailed it in?
Yeah. The postman loves those boxes.
Yeah. Beyond this on Whatnot saying he will always be Batman. Of course.
Yep.
Exactly. Like, honestly, I don't really know any other characters he's done. I mean, he did other characters in animated series, but it wasn't just animated series. He came back a bazillion times and revoiced them. You know, the Arkham game, well, most of the Arkham games. He had.
Well, and he's even had appearances on TV shows. So, I mean, it's been a really cool thing that he's got to do with his life and who he was. So
super sad. So, you know, our hearts go out to his family and friends. And that's just, I mean, late 60s is kind of borderline young to die now.
Yeah.
Just because we typically live so much longer. So super sad. Yeah. All right.
So other speaking of DC,
yes.
other segues. So James Gunn.
He's the
new Feige.
He's the DC Feige.
Which I think is pretty cool. I hope it's going to be good.
Suicide Squad was good.
Suicide Squad was good. I don't know if you saw Peacemaker.
I didn't watch Peacemaker yet.
Peacemaker is that's one of those ones you don't watch with anybody awake.
Yeah.
At least in our houses, y'all's houses, you do whatever you want. But I think I watched all of them on like a lunch break.
Yeah.
On my phone in a corner, so nobody could see what was happening. But it was really good. Really good. I mean, it takes Suicide Squad and like really pushes it. So as far as what his character does,
yeah, which it has been pulled in for a second season. Right?
Yeah. It was quickly announced that it was going to have a second season. But really excited about Gunn coming in and taking over for sure. Looks like he's done with Marvel stuff now. Yeah. Which we have the new, Guardians of the Galaxy things like what, next week?
So the holiday special I believe is next week, and then the movie is next summer.
Yeah.
So.
So that's really cool. They made a statement there won't be 4 Batmans in the DC universe, but that doesn't mean there can't be 3.
Yeah.
We know Batfleck is the Batman.
Yeah.
They've announced that since Black Adam. Batfleck is the Batman right now, DC. But then we know Pattinson's not going away. So for sure we'll have 2 Batmans.
Yeah, multiverse.
But I don't know how much further it's going to go than that. We also currently have multiple Jokers. I think they'll keep that the same. Lady Gaga's coming in as another Harley. So we'll have 2 separate things, I think, but I don't think they're going to go further than that.
I don't know. I just wonder if that is going to over dilute the character base. But
well, he's still in Flash. So if Flash ever gets released, what's it done? If it ever gets released, we'll see Keaton.
So for those listening, Chris is talking. A comment on YouTube or on Whatnot says wanting to see Keaton play Batman again.
Yep. Sorry, forget that some of you are not with us live like a couple of jerks. No, I'm just kidding. We appreciate you listening no matter where you are. Yeah, I think we all want to see that again. And I think we will. I know we already got robbed of it from one movie because I think he was supposed to be in the Batgirl movie.
Yep.
And so was Brendan Fraser. He came out this week publicly and said how heartbreaking it is that the girl that played Batgirl, that movie's never going to get shown because she put so much work into the lead role and it just got canned. I do kind of wonder if all this stuff with Gunn coming in was a reason for some of these cancellations, or if that was just that guy before he left was just like, I'm just going to can as much stuff as I can before I leave. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder tonally where it's going to go. I mean, with Gunn kind of spearheading things, you would think it would take a little bit more, not self-important type, a little more tongue in cheek.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is overall Marvel's deal. But do you think he tries to bring back Snyder?
I mean, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
It just,
or at least a somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, we know for sure that verse is here because Black Adam lives in that verse. Henry Cavill's back as Superman.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman. So we know that those characters from the Snyderverse are the characters for the main DCU now, not DCEU.
Yeah. Or maybe just he comes back as a producer, and
at least shares his vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Beyond this says that ending of Black Adam is exciting. I trust you.
Yep.
Tacony Chris says Snyder needs to come back. That was the best Justice League. I haven't seen either. I don't watch DC movies. If y'all haven't,
the full Snyder cut was absolutely great. It was. I don't think. I'd be interesting to see what Whedon would have done with his own movie and not working halfway through somebody else's movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But Snyder's full version was really good.
I think Whedon just hit gold with Avengers because it kind of started running out of steam come Age of Ultron.
Yeah, well, and I think that's just a good reason why they've done a good job of having an overall mind, but having different people take care of the different movies. Because I think from what I saw, Coolidger, who did the Wakanda movie, he's supposed to be directing one of the new Avengers movies.
Oh, Ryan Coogler? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, anytime you have a director change, the movie's just going to feel weird. Yeah. It's going to be disjointed. Like there's just no, unless you just do you kill all the footage and just do a complete reshoot. But even then the director has casting input. And if it doesn't work for new director's vision, like there's just going to be issues when you have a director change and any movie that's done that, there's issues with it. With the exception of Tombstone. It's a great movie. And it had a director change.
I guess I didn't know that. Tombstone is a good movie.
Yeah. So.
Whereabouts in the movie?
It was
towards the end.
It was early. It was early on.
Okay, so that helps a little bit. I know Justice League was just about wrapped up when they had to change out. So that kind of was.
Yeah, if one director shot the majority of it, and then
because Whedon went back and changed a lot afterwards.
Yeah.
Which you can definitely tell if you see the director's cut how much different.
Yeah,
it is.
One day I may watch the DC stuff, but I just
it's just not near.
You know what? Man of Steel ruined it for me.
Really? I like Man of Steel.
Maybe
you need to go like you did Star Wars
and go back and watch
just
it.
Watch it again and just see if you liked it.
Maybe.
I mean, Henry Cavill's your Superman. So another thing there is that, we get an announcement he's Superman, and then.
No, he's not.
He's not the Witcher. So, that really rocked me. I'm like, no, I'd rather have him as the Witcher.
we get, honestly, we do get one more season with him as the Witcher.
Yep, and we have also the prequel coming out next month on Netflix as well.
Yeah, with Michelle Yeoh and which I'm excited for. I did not watch the anime.
It's good. You should. It does a good job of explaining kind of some more of Geralt's background.
Yeah. Which you've read a lot of the books too, right?
Read them all, yeah.
All of even the short stories and all that.
Yep. It starts with the short stories,
right?
The first two novels are just short stories, and then it goes into the full novels.
Yeah.
But the first season basically.
Can you pronounce the author's name?
No.
Your Polish is weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad, and I'm not crazy about the idea of Liam Hemsworth.
We'll see. I saw that basically he was the runner up in the first place. So how would you like to like have a show go 3 seasons and then they're like, hey, by the way, do you want to play Geralt?
Hey, remember how we said no? We're saying yeah now.
Yeah.
Well, it's like being an understudy. Let's say that.
Yeah, I could see that. I think he'll do a good job. But I think acting wise, not Evans. Cavill is a much better actor than Hemsworth. I think that's kind of where I'm like, but also I think that it hasn't come out yet. I think eventually it probably will once the new seasons come out and he's completely done with it. He'll probably talk more publicly, but he's a walking Witcher Bible on set.
Yeah, I think
so. I think there's a lot of creative differences.
So the rumors I've heard is he kind of lost connection with the writers' room and directions they were taking. The series,
because we know from season 1 they were like, we've got 9 seasons queued, like we got content to come out with, and I think he wanted to make sure that Geralt stayed in a certain frame of mind and stay a certain type of character, and I don't know if there was 9 seasons worth of content, so they're definitely gonna have to come up with something different than who that character is. So
which. They're tagging that with the video game because, excuse me.
Yeah, they have a new Witcher game coming out now.
Yeah, they got a new one coming out. The old ones are getting remasters and redos and stuff.
Which really, the only one to play right now is 3. It wasn't even worth playing the first 2.
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, I don't know about the one remaster that just came out, but yeah, I started playing 3. I haven't finished it.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I've started playing it as well. I haven't finished it. So but it's also another one of those
big open world games are hard for me to focus on and finish. I get lost. I still haven't finished Red Dead.
Side quest too much.
I just wander around.
Yeah.
I literally in Cyberpunk I wander around and I change outfits. Like I don't know what's happening. I'm playing with dolls. What's happening is I'm playing with dolls. And
it's okay.
In a digital world. And then every now and again I cut people. So, or shoot them in the usually I hack them in the brain.
Oh, you're a nice guy.
Yep.
There's your title for the podcast.
Hack him in the brain.
Hack him in the brain.
There we go. All right. So I'm not caught up on Andor. So I'm halfway through the most recent episode.
Which means you
11.
probably didn't see the coolest part of the episode.
No, have not yet.
I was awesome.
So I got off work late, sat down to watch it, and Star Wars movies are just, especially Andor, with its pacing and kind of subtle tone. Yeah,
last week
10
you were probably like
10 I was all bored for. 11 was definitely a slower paced connector to the finale type movie, and I got to where Stellan Skarsgård's character is talking to Saw, and I was in and out of consciousness during that whole dialogue.
The coolest part of that whole episode is him again.
Yeah. So anyway,
you'll see it.
I'll probably finish it tonight. But so we will probably the next time we have an episode, which tentatively will be the Thursday after next because of Thanksgiving. We will probably do our Andor final thoughts.
That may be
spoiler alert,
the last one of the year, I would think, just kind of based on
with the holidays,
the rest of the year's going to play out,
holidays and stuff like that. So definitely tune in for that if you want to, and join us live here on Whatnot if you are wanting to join in that conversation. So and we try to do it unspoiler-ishy, but you just watch it. We do it. You can too. So. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up the podcast for this week. Again, like I said, we won't have a podcast this next Thursday, the 24th, but potentially back maybe in the first Thursday in December.
Yeah, I think it's December 1st.
December 1st, and then we will we'll see then. And who knows? December 1st may roll around and everybody's sick and. This is just the time of year where my whole house just passes around crap like you wouldn't believe. So anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on the Unknown Comics podcast. Bye.